Imagine a world where rules are non-existent, where survival becomes the only law, and fear is your constant companion. This is no post-apocalyptic fantasy, but the stark reality for countless individuals across the globe. We're stepping into a realm where the concept of dangerous takes on a whole new meaning. We're not talking about a high-risk job or a dangerous sport. We're talking about prisons, the places designed to hold those who have wronged society. But what happens when these establishments themselves become a breeding ground for danger? When the inmates are not just criminals but predators? When the conditions are not just harsh, but inhumane? When violence becomes not just a possibility but a way of life? And when control slips away, replaced by anarchy and dread? These are the questions we'll explore as we delve into the shadows. Welcome to the descent into darkness, as we count down the 10 most dangerous prisons in the world. At number 10, we find ourselves in Venezuela, at La Sabaneta prison, a place where the line between survival and demise is as thin as a razor's edge. Imagine a place designed to house 15,000 souls, now buckling under the weight of over 25,000. La Sabaneta isn't just a prison, it's a city within a city, a concrete jungle where the strong prey on the weak. It's a place of harsh conditions, where resources are as scarce as hope. Food, medicine, even a decent place to sleep are all commodities that can incite violence. The overcrowding issue is just the tip of the iceberg. Behind these walls, violence isn't just prevalent, it's the currency of power. Inmates rule their territories with iron fists, and the guards are often powerless to intervene. La Sabaneta prison, a place of nightmares where the damned outnumber the saved. It's a terrifying testament to human resilience in the face of despair. La Sabaneta prison, a nightmare that houses over 25,000 inmates in a space built for 15,000. Moving to the east, we arrive at the infamous Tadmor prison in Syria. Nestled amidst the desolate expanse of the Syrian desert, Tadmor has a chilling history that sends shivers down the spine. Built by the French Mandate forces in the 1930s, it was originally a military barracks. However, it wasn't until the 1980s that Tadmor gained its notorious reputation. Under the rule of President Hafez al-Assad, the prison became a house of horrors for political dissenters. Stories of inhumane treatments, brutal tortures, and mass executions are whispered in hushed tones by those who managed to survive. The prison was so feared that it was said to be designed to annihilate its inhabitants psychologically as well as physically. Tadmor was razed to the ground in 2015, yet its legacy of terror lives on, a stark reminder of the lengths to which human cruelty can reach. Tadmor prison, a place where hope is as barren as the desert it stands on. Our journey now takes us to Thailand, to the notorious Bang Kwang Central Prison, known as the Bangkok Hilton. But don't let the name fool you. This place is far from a vacation destination. Bang Kwang is a living nightmare for the inmates who call it home. In a place where harsh punishments are the norm, it's the mental strain that truly takes its toll. Imagine, if you will, a life in shackles. Not just physical ones, but psychological shackles that weigh heavy on the soul. The perpetual clinking of chains serve as a grim reminder of the lost freedom and the grueling conditions that are a part of daily life here. In Bang Kwang, the air is thick with despair. The food is scarce, the cells overcrowded, and the sanitary conditions are abysmal. Yet, the human spirit endures, battling against the odds in a place designed to break it down. Bang Kwang Central Prison, where life is a constant battle against despair. We now cross the ocean to the United States, to the infamous Rikers Island prison. This looming fortress, situated in the East River between Queens and the Bronx, has a reputation soaked in violence and brutality. It's a place where the rule of law seems to take a back seat, overtaken by anarchy and chaos. Rikers Island prison is notorious for its rampant corruption, with stories of officials turning a blind eye, or worse, participating in the cruelty. It's a breeding ground for gang violence, where the strong prey on the weak, and survival is a daily struggle. The harsh treatment of inmates is a constant theme in the tales that escape its walls, painting a grim picture of life on the inside. This isn't just a prison, it's a battleground. A place where the faint of heart don't last long and even the toughest are tested to their limits. Rikers Island prison, where danger lurks around every corner. Staying in the United States, we move to Colorado, to the ADX Florence prison. Nestled within the Rocky Mountains, this prison is cloaked not only by natural barriers but also by the most stringent security measures. It is the epitome of maximum security, designed to break the spirit of the most hardened criminals. Every inmate here experiences severe isolation. a world where human contact is a scarce commodity. Inmates live in solitary confinement, their world shrunk to a 7.5 by 12-foot cell. The constant solitude is a punishment as harsh as the cold, unforgiving Colorado winters. The soundproof cells ensure no contact, no camaraderie, no shared woes. The only voices heard are the echoes of their own. The days blend into nights and the nights into days in a ceaseless cycle of solitude. The outside world becomes a distant memory, a mirage that fades with each passing day. ADX Florence Prison, where solitude is a cruel, unending punishment. We now find ourselves in Rwanda, at the Gitarama Central Prison. A place where the very concept of human rights seems to be forgotten. This is a prison that has earned its reputation as a living nightmare. Imagine a prison so overcrowded that inmates are forced to stand day and night. The prison was originally designed to hold a mere 500 inmates. However, it has been known to contain up to 7,000 at a time. This overcrowding has led to unsanitary conditions that are beyond comprehension. But the horror doesn't stop there. The lack of basic necessities is appalling. Food and water are scarce commodities, and medical care is practically non-existent. It's a place where survival is not guaranteed, but rather a daily fight. This is not a prison. It's a terrifying testament to human resilience. A place where every day is a struggle to hold on to one's humanity in the face of unimaginable hardships. Gitarama Central Prison, where survival is a daily fight. Our journey takes us to Brazil, to the Carandiru Penitentiary. This infamous prison, once the largest in South America, was a hotbed of violence and chaos. The facility was notoriously overcrowded, with inmates often crammed into cells like sardines in a can, a breeding ground for tension and conflict. The tension often erupted into riots, as inmates clashing with guards and each other became a common occurrence. One such riot in 1992 resulted in a massacre that still haunts the corridors of Carandiru. The government's response to the unrest was brutal, resulting in the death of over 100 inmates. It was a chilling reminder of the disregard for life inside the prison walls. But perhaps the most terrifying aspect of Carandiru was the rampant spread of disease. With poor sanitation and little access to healthcare, diseases such as HIV and tuberculosis ran rampant, adding another layer of fear to the already hellish existence. Carandiru Penitentiary, where life hangs by a thread. We return to the United States, to the legendary Alcatraz Island Prison. A chilling name that resonates with the clang of iron bars and the echo of despair. Nestled in the heart of the San Francisco Bay, this fortress of solitude was once home to some of the most notorious criminals of the 20th century. What made Alcatraz a living nightmare was not just its maximum security measures, but the sheer isolation. Surrounded by the treacherous icy waters of the Pacific, the inmates were cut off from the world, left alone with their thoughts and regrets. The harsh conditions of Alcatraz were no less intimidating. The biting cold, the dampness and the relentless winds were constant reminders of their confinement. It was here that infamous inmates such as Al Capone and Robert Stroud, the Birdman of Alcatraz, served their time, their notorious reputations dwarfed by the prison's imposing presence. Alcatraz Island Prison, where escape is a dream that never comes true. Crossing the Atlantic, we arrive in France, at La Santé Prison. Nestled in the heart of Paris, this seemingly innocuous structure hides a chilling reality within its walls. La Santé Prison, infamous for its brutal treatment of inmates, is a place where hope withers and despair thrives. The prison is notorious for its high suicide rates, a grim testament to the unbearable living conditions and relentless psychological torment. The violence here is not an anomaly, but a way of life. Inmates are subjected to brutal treatment, a stark contrast to the city's romantic image. The prison's regime, marked by harsh discipline and little regard for human dignity, fosters an environment where despair is not just a passing sentiment, but a constant companion. La Santé Prison is a stark reminder that danger lurks not just in forgotten corners of the world, but also in the heart of one of the world's most beloved cities. La Santé Prison, where despair is a constant companion. Finally, we arrive at our number one spot, the most dangerous prisons of all, the North Korean prison camps. These camps are shrouded in layers of secrecy, with chilling tales of human rights abuses that make your blood run cold. Imagine a place where dignity is stripped away, replaced by fear and despair. In these camps, torture isn't just a punishment, it's a routine. It's an unforgiving place where people are subjected to forced labor, enduring conditions that are unimaginable. Food is scarce, disease is rampant, and death is a constant companion. The world outside these walls may be oblivious to the horrors within, but the chilling realities persist. These are not just prisons but entire worlds of torment where humanity is reduced to a mere concept, distant and unreachable. These camps stand as a grim testament to the depths of human cruelty and the fragility of human rights. North Korean prison camps where humanity is lost and fear reigns